2008, we were approached by the Oil and Gas Safety Committee. An interesting thing, there's actually an International Oil and Gas Safety Committee. It's comprised of all the large oil and gas companies, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, BP, Shell, Chevron, and also contractors such as Halliburton, Schlumberger, and everyone down the list. In the world, these guys are competitors, but they share best practices when it comes to safety. So they share all of their data. They get together 6 times a year and they discuss injuries, back injuries, foot injuries, hand injuries, head injuries. So in 2008, they had pretty much driven down all of their injuries except for hand. At that point, hand injuries accounted for over 70% of all injuries on oil platforms. And everything they had tried to that point couldn't bring the hand injuries down any lower. Our business partners, or safety, found out about this injury rate, and they looked at the market and came to us. They said, you guys are the industry experts in developing technical hand protection. Can you solve this problem? So we met with the International Safety Committee, sat down with their groups, and we started looking at gloves. What they were using today, which had no hand protection whatsoever, knit gloves, and what were the injuries they were getting. We looked at statistics and photos and diagrams and x-rays. And their biggest issue in hand injuries turned out to be impacts to the back of the hand and to the fingertips. When you're out there on an oil rig, everything's heavy, everything's massive, and you're handling it with your hands, whether it's a crane or a pipe, and you're moving it from the left side to the right side around big heavy equipment. And people get their hands pinched between points, and you end up with bruised fingers, broken fingers, fractured fingers. And an injury like that, guy goes on disability, has to leave the rig, has to get boated or flown off the rig, a new guy has to come in, costs a lot of money. So a small hand injury due to a 50-cent glove was costing $20,000, $30,000 in lost profit. So they recognized that this was an area to improve their worker safety and improve their bottom line. So we took what we learned from the meeting in Houston and started building prototypes. Here's our first one. You can see we extended the TPR finger protection all the way down to the fingertips. We gave it neoprene knuckle protection and metacarpal protection on the back of the hand and a Velcro wrist closure. So we took this glove and we sent it out for field testing on oil platforms. The feedback was, it was miles ahead of what they currently had, but we could still make it better. So they wanted more knuckle protection and they wanted us to get rid of the Velcro strap. We were surprised. We thought Velcro strap was a good thing. They said, yeah, but it can be a hazard. If the glove gets caught in a piece of machinery, a piece of equipment, it can yank your hand off if it's tightened down. So we took feedback from the initial field test, redesigned the glove, added knuckle protection, changed the cuff design, took that glove, sent it out into the field, had an expanded field test, got the data back from that. They said, we like everything you did, but we need better grip on the palm. So we invented a new grip on the palm. Then we went back out with an expanded field test. So our third round of field test was 200 pairs of gloves out on oil platforms in the Gulf. So about 2 months into the test, I get a phone call from the chairman of the Oil and Gas Safety Committee, and he says, stop the test. I gotta tell you, my heart sank. I thought there was an injury, something wasn't good. He says, we've had 80,000 man hours without a single hand injury. Go into production, we want to buy these things. And that's how the Kong was born. So we went to our factories and dove into full-blown production. Kong is by far the most complicated glove we ever developed. There are 20 different impact protection pieces on the glove, and each one has to be located precisely on every single size. So while production was running, we had a parallel path of testing the impact protection on our gloves. We approached the University of Wisconsin to do a hand impact study to see exactly how much the impact was being reduced on the back of the hand when wearing the Kong versus wearing a knit glove or wearing no glove at all. We went to the University of Wisconsin because there is no standard. There is no standard that shows the impact reduction on the back of the hand of a glove. So we had to develop our own test. And the test involved putting the glove onto a mannequin hand. First thing we did was put it onto a mannequin hand made out of wood. But during the testing, we realized that the hand didn't mimic the mechanics of a human hand well enough. The University of Wisconsin developed a ballistic mannequin hand, the first of its kind, that mimicked the hard and soft tissues of the hand. The results of the test were outstanding. Impacts to the fingers were reduced by 76%, impacts to the metacarpal bones were reduced by 80%, and impacts to the knuckles were reduced by 90%. When we took this information to the Oil and Gas Safety Committee, they were ecstatic. Basically, the way they look at it, an impact of 400 pounds is now reduced to an impact of 40 to 60 pounds, which a hand can survive. Can't survive the 400-pound impact. It can survive the 40 to 60-pound impact. Since then, we've expanded the Kong line. We have the Kong Dexterity Super Grip, Kong Cold Condition Waterproof, Kong Slip and Oil Resistant, and now we're coming out with the Kong Cut Resistant. All of the gloves have the same impact protection as the Kong original, but we don't stop there. We're constantly innovating. We spend countless hours in the trenches. We're out on the oil fields, we're out on the oil platforms, we're working hand in hand with the riggers and roughnecks. The goal is to know what they need. Not what we think they need, but what they really, really need to get their job done better and safer every single day.
Yeah, I love these gloves. I worked on the crew boats before I came up here. Yeah. Always rigging heavy stuff around loads and came up here.
Did you have Kongs in those days too?
That's what started me. The last 4 years, this is all I've worn. Right. I've tried every other kind of brand. I've had the mechanics, I've had the other oil field gloves. They dubbed the roughneck gloves.
Ringers, yeah.
No, they suck. They're not good. And I'd go through them in a hitch. Oh, hitch is 7 days of straight 12 to 16 hours a day working.
How long are these gloves lasting?
I've had these for 8 months.
You've used this glove for 8 months?
This pair.
Wow.
I've been through 4 pairs total in 4 or 5 years. Almost 5 years.
So this is an improvement over this. You might even get more time out of these.
I love it.
Good.
I love it. And this little clear spot in the back of my helmet, that's been an Ironclad sticker for years that I just finally took off to spray paint my name on there.
You make me very happy.
I'm gonna go head down then. Hey, greasy, hey grip, stitching. I was able to climb up on that boom. Just pull yourself because they grip so good. I like them.